My name's Guy Kestevan. I've been a professional biking kit tester for over 27 years. And today, I'm talking to you about two SQ Labs saddles that could stop your riding being a literal pain in the arse. So, the first saddle is the 60X Infinity Active 2.1. Now, the 60X Ergowave Active saddle has actually been around for a few years now. This shape with this active rail system here, which basically means you get different densities of elastomer in the back of the saddle. So, and you can't do it really with your thumbs, but with your butt on there, that lets the saddle sort of rotate yaw from side to side. You see I've got a white one in that saddle, grey one in that saddle, and you can get black ones as well. So basically, it's like changing the suspension damper under your seat as to how much the saddle can yaw about as you're pedalling left to right. Because as you can see, Ergowave definitely have quite a distinctive flat profile. You can see you've got a sort of a raised bit, then lumps in the middle, and a flat nose there. So quite a prescriptive. I'll talk about how they fit in a minute. But the big news with this saddle, you've got this BASF Infinity. I mean, it's basically an EVA. So the whole saddle is made out of this cushioning. It's similar to the cushioning they use in running shoes to be a shock absorbing. And then it's got this sort of hard wearing tape section bonded onto the tops there. So you're not sitting directly on the EVA foam, because that would likely wear out really, really quickly. And as you can see, I've put a fair amount of mileage in this and passed these around a lot of the mates I ride with just to get a good call on who they work for and who they don't, and I'll be covering that at the end of this video. Hollow steel rails, so it's reasonably lightweight at 290 grams, and it's 280 centimetres long. And one of the key things about the sizing on SQ Labs is they come in a whole load of widths. So this is a 140 because I was measured up when I met the SQ Labs people at Bike Connection over in Italy, and they do an iPad pressure test, which you sit on, sensors, and that connects to an iPad and everything like that. Like I say, it's all very scientific, but they're sized from 130 right out to 160 mil width, and the whole idea of these saddles is they're completely unisex. If your hips are that width, then they have a saddle to fit you. And then the second saddle is this 614 Ergowave Active 2.1. So again, it's got that active rail system on the back, but it's a much more conventional construction. You've got a standard skin over the top of the foam, and you've actually got little abrasion resistant sort of Kevlar aramid fibre scuff patches all the way around the outside edge. And it's also lighter than the 60X. This one's only 234 grams, just measured it on my scales. And the profile is actually kind of a hybrid of the 611 MTB saddle and the 612 road saddle, or it might be the other way around. Anyway, and it's kind of designed for more gravel XC riding. So again, it's an advantage that it's lighter as well. And the other advantage with this saddle is that you've got a even broader size range. So you're going from 120 mil out to 160 mil in 10 mil increments. And it's a little bit shorter as well. This is 275 mil rather than 280 mil. So, how do they actually perform on the bike? Like I say, I've had these for over a year now, and I've ridden them and I've passed them around various mates as well. If anyone said, oh, I've got a bit of a saddle issue, can I try something different? I've gone, well, maybe this is the holy grail for your buttock delight. And, other more intimate plumbing accessories that may contact the saddle. Obviously, like both of them, not sure I've mentioned it before, both of them have a really deep recess in the centre, and they actually list, the amount of detail they go into on each saddle on the website is just It's, even by German standards, it's remarkably in depth, and they actually put perennial pressure or perennial contact area percentages for each saddle, so you know just how much of the saddle is cut away, where it might be becoming a bit of a plumbing issue. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. And overall, they've been liked, particularly the 60X has come in handy for people who are suffering with back pain or just needing a bit more width. That's pretty much a lot of people quite like that saddle. I've used it quite a lot because it's reasonably light, and it's certainly seems more comfortable straight away than this saddle, because it's not quite as square at the back end. This is closer to a conventional saddle shape. But I will say that profile is pretty prescriptive, and it's got a real sweet spot in terms of where you sit on it. It really tends to centre you right in the centre. So you're someone who moves around on the saddle a lot, you're probably not going to get on with these, because you've got the rounded, you've got the raised bit at the back. I mean, this is designed as a e-bike saddle as much as anything is. So it's designed for seated pedaling, and actually part of the fit measurement is to include the angle you sit at, and that adds or minuses a certain amount to the recommended width. But anyway. So for most of us, we kind of we ride a lot of saddles. I was about to say my arse is experienced there, but let's face it, that is actually true in terms of the amount of saddles I've ridden over the years, and there aren't many I don't get on with. And these are okay for me, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get them. However, I do have a mate, John, who absolutely swears by them. Very high mileage rider, rides both gravel and an e-bike, and he's been begging me to send these samples for him to use long term after the video, and I've taken forever to get them done, so massive apologies to John on that one. But he says it's just, then it takes a little while to get used to them, the fact that they're quite a prescriptive fit in terms of position. But once you've got used to them, he says they're absolutely outstanding. And if he doesn't use them, which is why he's crying out for these ones to be sent over for long-terming, he really notices sort of pain in the lower back. Particularly, he's tried squishier saddles, and they're good to start with. And then once the ride gets longer and he's deeper into the day, he really starts to suffer with those. And then firmer saddles, it's all about the shape, and that can be. But basically, he's found a better fit on these two saddles, or at least variants of this one, than he has on any other saddle. And he's been riding for even longer than I have. So if you are searching for that holy grail to stop in the quest for saddle comfort, these are well worth a look. They are relatively expensive, €160, basically €200 on these, but they do a huge range of different saddles, different fits, different styles. You won't find any cheap ones there, because that kind of investment in technology and different sizing and everything like that all costs, and that's fair enough, because these could be the absolute answer. And I have to say, been very impressed how well this tape on top of EVA construction has survived. This has seen a lot of use. You can see, it's fairly deeply ingrained with mud just from months and months of riding, but there's no sign of that tape lifting up or anything like that, which is quite common on saddles. So, and they're both made in Germany. So again, if you like that Vorsprung arse technique, then they'll be right up your fundament. But for now, massive thanks to my standard channel sponsors. Thanks to our list at the end. Thanks to my Patreon subscribers who pledge on a monthly basis, and they get early, extended, and behind-the-scenes edits as a thank you, and they get them ad-free. So if you really like what I'm doing with the channel and you want to see some stuff early, and you only want to be interrupted by me stumbling through these unscripted presentations rather than adverts as well, then please consider supporting me on Patreon, because it makes a big difference to the sustainability of the channel. But so does you clicking for notifications, subscriptions, giving this video a thumbs up, and telling your mates about it. Particularly in this instance, if your mates are a pain in the arse. Sorry, have a pain in the arse. But for now, I've been Guy Kestevan on Guy Kes TV, talking about 2 radical rump-saving saddles from SQ Labs.